So the IS just going to forget about that VK for now, and is going to swing around and help. Who's that guy? Is that a T-32? It is. So he's just going to swing around while the T-32 is drawing their attention. He's going to swing round and hit the E-100 straight in the ass and take him out. Hello and welcome to this World of Tanks subscriber replay. My name is Maxwell, and today's replay comes to us from a username next to you, that is next to you. And today he's using the mighty Tier 10 Russian heavy tank, the IS-7, on Ruinberg. This was one of the first replays that got sent in, and I remember it being a fairly good game, so I've gone back to it now to bring you this one. Great thing about the IS-7 is it's very quick off the mark and very manoeuvrable, which means it can get into a good forward position before the enemy really expects a heavy tank to be able to reach an advanced position like that. The only bad thing I always find with driving a Tier 10 is because you're in a Tier 10, your team is really relying on you to make an impact. Normally there's only sort of you or maybe another one or two Tier 10 tanks, so you really do have to have a good game. If you don't have a good game, then you kind of screw your team over a little bit. No. Could have probably had a shot there, but just decided to play it safe. Again, that's the other thing about driving one of these tanks, is you really have to play it safe and take your time. Not just because of the long reload times, but... yes, mostly because of the long reload times, but because when you hit somebody, you want to make sure that you do the maximum amount of damage possible to them with the shot that you have. So just nailing that IS into position, making sure that he is absolutely 100% locked down. Just getting flanked a bit by an E50 medium tank there. Although the E50 seems to be... what's he doing? No, he's just hanging back. That's a smart thing to do. Just run in, get one shot in the ass of the IS-7, and then fall back, just to keep him on his toes. So it looks like they're getting a little bit surrounded in this position. They've got guys around the back, and they've got these guys here moving in on them. Great thing about the IS-7 is it has one of the highest penetrating guns in the game, I'm fairly sure. For a tank, that is, not a tank destroyer. So anybody he shoots is pretty much just going to cut straight through their armour. Yep, there you go. The other thing you've got to remember is, because of the angling on the front of the IS-7, you can't really angle it to the side to try and increase the chance of getting a glancing blow. And the reason for that is because, oh, well, let's have a look, because the slope of the armour is slanted to either side there. If you do angle your tank sideways, then you're pretty much just presenting flat armour to the enemy, meaning that they actually have a higher chance of penetrating you. So the other good thing about a Tier 10 tank is the fear factor. If you notice, this guy here is keeping all four of those tanks. I mean, I know there's another tank on the right hand side there, but let's just see who that is. It's an IS, so not really of much significance. So he's kind of keeping everybody pinned in this little area because nobody wants to be the first to advance on him and try and get that shot. You see his pals are coming up behind and supporting him there. You can probably sneak out and get a shot on that KV-4, but just want to make sure that everybody is looking in a different direction. And there you go. And you set him on fire. Good shot. Obviously Tier 8 KV-4 is... he looks like he's definitely packed his fire extinguisher. So I always find it amazing when these high tier tanks, you set them on fire and they burn and they burn and they burn. And you think, why didn't you just pay the 3,000 for the fire extinguisher and you'd still be alive? Now, one thing I have noticed about the IS-7 is it seems, I mean, this may just be me, but it seems that the beginning portion of the game, they seem to get nailed, and every single shot penetrates and does some damage. And then for the second half of the game, absolutely everything either bounces or does 0 damage. And I don't know if that's just me, but that's just one thing I seem to have noticed about the IS-7. To a lesser extent, the IS-8 does the same thing, but the IS-8's armour is absolutely crap. So Oh, it looks like he may be in trouble here. He's taken down to 168 hit points, which is absolutely nothing out of the 2100 that he had originally. Now, he may not have actually gotten any kills yet, but this guy has done loads of work and actually done quite a lot of damage to plenty of different tanks. And you saw how long he was able to hold up those 4 tanks around the corner just there. Someone having a preemptive shot there. Unlucky bounce on the front of a medium tank. But yeah, he managed to hold up all those tanks there for quite a long time, which gave his team the opportunity to get into a much better firing position. So he should... Nope, this E50's either very lucky or he knows exactly what he's doing with angling his armour, because he's got it just at the right angle that even a shot to the underbelly with over 200 penetration gun has a high chance of getting a ricochet, which is what's just happened twice in a row there. But when he pokes his head out that far, there's nothing he can do, and he's going to take some serious damage to the face there. So, pretty even game. They are up by 1 kill, it's 10-9, but it's pretty even, although they have luckily managed to... I didn't see how... Oh, sorry, I've had the map really small for most of this game, sorry about that. But somebody obviously managed to get round into their base and take out their artillery, so that was a good move, meaning that they do have artillery supremacy. And that was a good spot there. He saw the VK suddenly appear on his mini-map in a flanking position. Luckily, he shot at somebody else who was probably presenting rear armour or a much better target for them. So luckily he didn't get shot, even though he's probably on about 2% life. So he's just going to try and keep himself angled nicely so that that VK over there try and dissuade him from shooting at him. Although it looks like he's moving into position for a shot now. Can he lay some damage on him? Nope. Managed to get back into cover just in time, but the VK didn't manage to get any damage on the IS-7 either. It's that front armour being angled in such a way that makes it very difficult to get a penetrating hit. And this the E50 has decided to rush. His shot bounced on the IS, and that one from the VK did 0 damage. And I don't know what he was doing there, because I'm sure his gun has a faster reload time than the IS-7. And that one did, what, 20 damage? 10 damage? I think the VK must have switched to HE rounds, not thinking he'd be able to get a penetrating hit. Unfortunately, the IS presented his rear and side armour, so it was really a waste of HE round there. So the E50 taken out in short order, as his first shot failed to penetrate, and then he was a goner. So the IS just going to forget about that VK for now, and is going to swing around and help. Who's that guy? Is that a T-32? It is. So he's just going to swing around while the T-32 is drawing their attention. He's going to swing round and hit the E-100 straight in the ass and take him out. So it's just the E-75 now, although the IS-7 has next to no health. So one good shot from this E-75 will be enough to take him out. So he's really got to be careful. And there we go, he bounced that shot. So he can really kind of take his time now. There you go, the optimum shot to really ruin his day. So we've got the VK 4502A left. Last we saw him, he was sort of in the middle of the field, but it looks like he tried to advance up around the back of the IS-7. Unfortunately, he wasn't quick enough. Yeah, unfortunately, he wasn't quick enough, so the IS-7 is able to get his front armour facing. But with 158 health, you've really got to be careful, because even this VK with a well-placed shot, or even a lucky shot, will be able to take this guy out. So he's really just got to watch what he's doing. I mean, chances are he's probably going to bounce the shot. And there you go, the artillery took him out. So you see, he didn't rush in and get himself blown up, because if he had done that, then it would have been easy for that VK to just go and take out that Tiger, and then it probably would have all gone horribly wrong and been a victory for the other team there. So, thanks very much to the user next to you for sending in that replay. It was a very good one, although it wasn't an amazing amount of kills that we normally see, like 6 or 7 or 8. He did an amazing job there, did some really good work, and managed to was pivotal to the victory for his team there, I would say, for stalling up the enemy around that corner and laying down some good damage on the enemy. So if you've got yourself a good replay where you think you've had a good battle and done some good work, then please send your replays in to replay@screenreality.com. That email address will be in the description. Send us your replays, and although I may not be able to make a video out of all of them, I will 100% watch every single one of them because they're really entertaining. And fingers crossed your replay, if it's good or funny or entertaining, will get turned into a video. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and I will catch you next time.